Do aliens still exist? And have they even existed before? In the past, we heard of stories and saw images of certain creatures which people claim to have seen in different places. And these were called aliens because they were not like human beings. They had special powers, and from the images we saw of them, they were very ugly. Some of them claim to have gotten these images in space, and some of them claimed they could even be found in some planets if only they had the chance to go to their places. We also heard sometimes some of them could fall to earth, and there were different stories by different people regarding aliens. But do they really exist? And if they exist, what were they created for? From the movies we watch and the different cartoons and the portraits of the aliens out there, they show them to be very scary creatures or dangerous creatures. There are some pictures of aliens with different types of eyes in front and eyes at the back. There are images of aliens with one leg. There are images of aliens with only a head, which they find no hard way to move about. The question is, how come they are not on Earth? Where are they located? And what were they created for? And if they do exist, are they allowed to enter our world, to come here on Earth? The existence of aliens to some is a myth. Some don't believe it really exists, but others have some surety about their existence. We also hear of spaceships, which these aliens use to travel from place to place. Could it be that perhaps these alien stories are not real? Could it be that perhaps these are certain robots that were created and made to roam in space and in other planets in the universe? Could it be that these aliens, which we have heard about, are not real creatures of God, but are actually man's invention to make something out of nothing? Whether it is true or not, until we see one with our own eyes, it will be hard for many to believe it. And there also is the question of, when we see one with our own eyes, what is going to be the reaction like? Are they going to attack us? Or are they going to be friendly to us? Because if they really do exist, we may look like food to them. And if we are food, all they will do when they see us is to eat us. Or it could be that these aliens will see us as dangerous beings, and they would also see us as alien to them because we are not like them, and they may be scared we will attack them, and in their bid to put up the defensive may also feel like attacking first. And then comes another thing to think about. What languages do these aliens speak? How do they communicate? That is, if they really do exist. Obviously, there are no creatures that exist without a language, for even animals communicate among themselves, though we do not hear them speak. But what is the communication between aliens like? Do they use sound? Is it some form of a sign language? Or can they speak to each other without even moving or making any sign on their bodies? Aliens, as portrayed in the movies, are very scary creatures. And when you watch a horror movie at night with an alien in it, you would be given the horrors of your life. We have seen also in some movies how these aliens use laser technology to go about their businesses and their attacks. How is it that an alien would use such technology when an alien cannot speak our language? Or could it be that these aliens have also been blessed with the wisdom to create things and make inventions? Maybe one day, when the world is coming to an end, we may have a chance to see an alien or two, or maybe even multiples of them. But until then, if none of them comes into the presence of anyone, they will see them as just stories. But there are lots of things in this universe the mere mortal has not been given a chance to see. So if you are one who doesn't believe in aliens, that they exist, don't really close your mind on the fact that it could be a possibility. Because if half of the things in the universe were revealed for you to know, you probably wouldn't even have the time to consume it all. There are a lot of things that are hidden and kept away from human beings. We are only restricted to this earth for those of us who will never even get a chance to go to the moon and to other planets. I mean, the world has a lot of people in it, but how many really go to the moon? How many get a chance to enter a rocket or a spaceship or some form of aircraft that shoots up into the orbits and goes into space, outer space, and all these planets, Pluto, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and all of these ones that are even, some are claiming don't exist again, Neptune and all these planets. How many of us really get a chance to go to these planets? And even if we do, what is it going to be like over there? What are we really going to discover? Are we just going to see a bare land? Or are we going to see activities in there? And then also, what if there are things in planets that are around us that we cannot reach? Because you don't use the normal transport system to get into those planets. The existence of alien creatures brings a lot into the mind of the individual who considers their possibilities of existence. This is because for them to exist, then that means they'll have to have a world on their own. Do they go about their duties like we do? Are they governed by one central governor, alien governor, or the head alien boss? I don't know. Could it be that these aliens also have their system of going about things? Some of us may find out as the world comes to an end, and as every day we go to bed and wake up, we are nearing that time. The end of the world promises to show us a lot of strange things and weird happenings. According to what we hear from the holy books, even the stars are going to be falling down. And let's say maybe there's a star that houses some aliens in it. Let's just say such a star falls down to the ground. Do you know what it would mean for these aliens to finally come and land here on Earth? It's going to be very, very scary. What is going to happen when they are mixed with us? Are we going to be friendly with them? Are we going to work together? Or are we going to be devoured by these aliens? As these alien creatures have been shown to be very powerful in certain innovations and arts, it makes one to be afraid of even thinking of mentioning an alien or thinking about the fact that one could exist. But then, like we said before, it will take something great or a certain happening for one to really find out whether these aliens do exist. As we hear that during these end times that are going to be approaching, the sun and moon are going to be doing strange things like the darkening and the moon turning into blood. I'm sure even in an alien world, strange things will be happening there too. The question is, what differs between us and them? Do they also have to keep a righteousness path to keep them from burning in the lake of fire? There are more questions. But until we have a vivid vision of these types of creatures that are being put out in our movies and in the stories we hear, it will be a little difficult for many to consume it in and swallow it. I mean, from some of these movies, you can see aliens even eating sand. Yep. And for a human being, that would be a no-no, because sand is not anything that is edible. But to the alien, that may be very good food. Aliens could be real. And if they are, we'll have to think about if they are good creatures when they come close to human beings, or if they are not. Because if they are not, anytime they get close to a human being, you should already know what is going to happen. Some of the things that have even existed in the stories and even in history shows the existence of certain machineries and certain gadgets that existed before this generation, and sometimes it beats our imagination to wonder that there was a certain world that existed before us and that used even these machines that we are now seeing as new inventions. And then there are also stories of dragons and dinosaurs and all of these creatures that existed. But in our modern day world, we really don't get a chance to see any of those. Some may think it's a cool thing to see a dragon, flying and then bringing out fire from its nostrils and its mouth. But for some, it would be very scary and they will not even want to have those thoughts in mind. But sometimes, listeners, you have to open your mind to a scope of understanding of where we are and where we are heading. Because if dragons existed before this generation, if things like dinosaurs were alive, then there may just be a chance that some aliens or some other creatures somewhere are alive and we have no ideas about it. Who knows? Maybe one of these days we will come to one of those discoveries again, and then our eyes will be enlightened. Because nowadays, every single month, something new is found out, something new is discovered. and something new is brought to book and light. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.